Hello everyone. So I just got out of my showing of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Only had time to think about it on the drive home. So I'm just gonna give kind of my initial thoughts on the Super Mario Galaxy movie and what I thought about it. Before I saw the movie, I saw the critic reviews, and in general, I don't weigh myself down with the critics too much, because what I think about the movie is gonna be different than what they think about the movie. But I saw that it didn't but I kind of expected it if it was of approximately equal quality to the first movie, that like scores would hold mostly steady. Maybe slight variations, but they would hold steady, maybe go up. And with the first movie, I didn't really have any problems with it beyond it felt a little bit fast, and there were some moments where I'm like, this movie could have been maybe like an extra 5 minutes or so longer, and it might have helped the movie a lot. You're gonna see and hear my cats probably. So with the Galaxy movie, seeing that it was actually 5 minutes longer than the first movie was positive for me. But seeing that people thought it was rushed, that it was a Nintendo IP, like cram fest, that made me nervous. And then when I opened Nintendo today and I saw like there's an Easter egg hunt like map or whatever, that made me ultra concerned that this was going to be no semblance of Mario, no semblance of story, anything Galaxy related, and that just had me really concerned that this was going to be the movie that Nintendo uses as an excuse to shoehorn in as much of their IP as possible and trick people into seeing it with the Mario IP. And that wasn't what the movie was. It was in a lot of ways, I do think that it is better than the first Mario movie. There is a little bit more of a focus on story. The characters have a little bit more of a focus. For most of the movie, you're following Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi. And seeing Yoshi on the big screen is awesome. Donald Glover, that's who his name is. He does an excellent Yoshi voice. I'd be happy to see him in whatever the third Mario movie ends up being. Which we'll talk about at the end. Tyler Bryan, I think? He continues to do the arrangements for from the first movie, so it's all the Galaxy music, and it's arranged excellently for the big screen. It really feels awesome. Brie Larson as Rosalina, she does excellent as Rosalina. The movie opens with Rosalina and the Lumas, and so when that scene was playing out, I kept thinking, I'm like, man, when I was 8 years old, when Mario Galaxy came out on Wii, and I was, playing the game, wandering around, the Comet Observatory, interacting with the Lumas and everything, consulting the strategy guide, I was always thinking, like, I wonder what the Comet Observatory is like when Mario's not using it to collect power stars. Like, what's that like? And this movie does a good job, I think, of answering some of those questions. Like, what goes on in the galaxies when just normally from the day to day. So the Galaxy movie does a great job of pulling that childhood wonder, I think, out of you. Bowser Jr., I can't believe I didn't talk about him from the get-go, but Bowser Jr. and Benny Safdie, his voice actor, incredible. They have so Bowser, Jack Black as Bowser, of course, is back. And they're excellent. They have excellent chemistry together. You really buy into their father-son relationship. It's really good. And the animators who were animating Bowser Jr.'s like face and his eyes especially, pay attention to Bowser Jr.'s eyes when you watch the movie. It's really incredible work that they did. There are some aspects that I do have. There's one big problem with this movie. So before I get into that, I will say, like, the concern that I had with this movie, even before the critic reviews came out, was that I wasn't seeing enough Galaxy. I was wondering, is this really worthy of being the Mario Galaxy movie? And at the end of the day, yeah, I think it is. But my problem is, and this is where I'll give the spoilers, is that there's one big problem, and that is Fox McCloud. A few days ago, Nintendo released the poster that showed Fox was going to be in the movie, and I didn't think a whole lot of it because I figured they would probably stick him somewhere in the Gateway Galaxy, which the movie shows as kind of this like an airport terminal, more or less, to the galaxies, to the starry skies. And I figured he was just gonna be stuck there, show up for a couple of lines, and then leave, and all would be fine. That's not all he does. He does appear in the Gateway Galaxy. He has more than a few lines. A lot of the really cool moments from Super Mario Galaxy, the game, I think about like the ending when Rosalina takes control of the Comet Observatory and you fly into the center of the universe, and destroying the Comet Observatory is crashing and destroying, Bowser Jr. and his airships, as they make their approach. Like, that's a really strong and epic part of Mario Galaxy, the game. And they do it in the movie. It's not done by Rosalina, because she spends the movie captured, which works for this movie, I won't hold that against it. But they don't give it to Princess Peach. They don't give it to Mario. They don't give it to Luigi or Yoshi. Any of the Lumas who have been piloting the Comet Observatory, up to this point. That really epic and important scene from the games and being translated into the cinema for the first time is given to Fox McCloud. No, no, big problem. That should have sent up red flags with whoever was reviewing this movie. And when Fox McCloud is introduced, Toad has some line where he's like, "Oh, that guy, he's like the coolest dude ever." And I'm like, okay. So Miyamoto personally wrote that line and asked for it to be stuck in there. If they had left his lines at that, maybe it'd be fine. But they give Fox the whole thing with the Comet Observatory. He's with the group for a bit of time. He gets them. He has a dogfight with Bowser Jr. and Bowser in the spaceship, and I'm like, no, this ain't working. It's unfortunate too, because a lot of what this movie needed more of was Mario and Peach and the Mario group, using things like launch stars and sling stars. There's no power stars anywhere in this movie, which is kind of crazy, or grand stars even. I think the Lumas do a pretty good job of being in the movie. Could have gone for more of them, but that's fine. But my main problem is that so much of this movie does lean on Fox McCloud helping the Mario group and help push the story along. And one of the most climactic scenes of the movie is given to Fox. That just felt wrong. There is another scene later in the movie where Mr. Game & Watch appears, and at first I was like, oh, this is kind of cute, I like this. And then he engages in a battle, and he pulls out the 9 hammer, and I'm like, okay, that felt a little too far. And if it was on its own, if that was all that was in the movie and Fox McCloud wasn't there, probably would be able to get over it. But it's the fact that there was a full scene with Mr. Game & Watch doing some fighting instead of the Mario Bros. And it comes not too long after Fox McCloud is taking control of the Comet Observatory and doing dogfights and barrel rolls with Bowser Jr.'s airships. Like that, I have a problem with that. Good news is, don't think he'll be back in the third movie. There's 2 end credit scenes. The first end credit scene has him take off back to the Lilat system. I don't know how that works. I don't really care. He's gone. That's the point. And then the second end credit scene, back in the Gateway Galaxy, there's Ukiki stealing luggage from travelers. At the end, you see kind of a skinny arm with a white glove punch Ukiki, and just acting as a force for good. And then the camera pans out, and there's Princess Daisy. Hi, Daisy. So the third movie is definitely going to involve Daisy in some capacity, and might even be set in Sarasaland. So we'll see how that ends up shaking out. So overall, I struggle to say I really liked the Galaxy movie because it kind of holds steady from the first movie. Doesn't make a ton of dramatic improvements, though there are improvements. It has a little bit of regression in the sense that Fox McCloud is present for so much of the story, and that so much of what makes Galaxy is given to him instead of literally anyone else. But I think if you like the first movie, you'll definitely enjoy the second one. And if you were worried that this movie wouldn't live up to the Galaxy name, Fox's stuff excluded, I don't think you're going to be too disappointed. There is enough of the Galaxy influence, especially when it comes from like Bowser Jr.'s side, to things. And in the beginning with what's it called? The Star Festival, which they kind of repurpose into Peach's birthday. I think it all works out really well. And there's some people who said that this movie was too fast-paced. I don't think it was. And there's also some people who think that this was, nothing more than just a Nintendo IP treasure hunt, and I don't think it's quite that either. There are definitely Easter eggs that you'll be looking for and spotting, but I don't think that the movie relies on those. So overall, with the personal bias that I have towards Mario Galaxy and just the Mario movie in general, probably give this movie like an 8. And if I had to like separate this movie as an objective movie that how most people are going to that don't have the connection to Galaxy or don't have the connection to the first Mario movie, you're probably going to come in somewhere closer to like a 6 or maybe a 7. And some of the things that bother me, like with Fox, probably aren't going to bother you in that case. So I think it's definitely worth seeing. It definitely wasn't bad. It could have been bad. It wasn't bad. And overall, I can't wait to see what the third movie brings. So thank you all for watching. Go check out this movie yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.